Are you serious? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna order an Uber.
Emma, what the?
The drama is one of the biggest surprises of the year. A film I expected to ignite controversy and spark the usual distasteful discourse has instead opened up a surprisingly thoughtful conversation about morality, thought policing, and the many shades romance can take within the romantic comedy genre. I'm impressed by how widely it's resonated and honestly fascinated by why. On my first watch, the film was difficult to sit through. Toxic relationships are something I know too well, and whether people agree or not, I do see Charlie and Emma's dynamic as toxic, but I'll get to that later. The drama asks a simple question. What would you do if your partner revealed something from their past that completely changes how you see them? It's a profound question, wrapped in the context of modern American tragedies and politics. Add two of the biggest stars in Hollywood, a trailer that reveals nothing yet inspires intrigue, and the A24 stamp, and suddenly you have a cultural moment. In this video, I want to analyze the film the only way I know how. Hyper-focused yet relaxed, maybe reaching, but shooting every shot that I can. If you haven't seen the movie, I recommend watching it first. It's the kind of story you'll want your own opinion on. But for everyone else, let's deconstruct the drama.
Get away as fast as you can. I'll take care of it. I'll call the police. I'll beat her up. Whatever you want.
Part 2. The Bride's Vows. Zendaya's filmography is polarizing, but Emma stands out as her most naturally likable character in years, and that matters when discussing the character. Zendaya is one of the most publicly adored figures of her generation. From her Disney origins to the parasocial obsession with her real-life relationship, casting her as Emma isn't just good marketing, it's thematically intentional and captures the already biased audience. Emma is funny, caring, empathetic, and strong-willed, but her story is about likability, identity politics, and the way a woman's morality is judged through the lens of public perception. Zendaya makes that dynamic feel effortless because she already embodies it in the public eye. Emma and Charlie are at the mercy of their audience, but Emma is the one who keeps reaching for connection even when it hurts her. Emma almost went full Columbine. There is no way to not recoil when the audience is presented that information about her past. The main question being asked after the soon-to-be iconic dinner scene is why? The audience and Charlie expect a traumatic origin, extreme bullying, witnessing death, debilitating trauma, but the answer is more simple and what Emma had been fighting against the entire time: loneliness. Emma's dynamic with Rachel, played by Alana Haim, becomes the clearest example of this internal struggle. Rachel judges Emma harshly after the dinner scene, despite having her own morally questionable past. Yet Emma never lashes out. Her desire to belong to Charlie's community outweighs her instinct for self-preservation. She clings to their relationship because connection is the only thing that has ever saved her from herself. Even her father's wedding speech reveals a lifetime of distance. He describes her as a performer, not because she loves the spotlight, but because she loves the reaction. Her audience has changed over the years. Parents, classmates, viewers, and now Charlie and his friends. But the need to be seen and appreciated has never left her. The hatred she carries is internal, only validated when turned inward. She can scream at a stranger in traffic, but when her morality is questioned, she goes silent. Her silence is self-punishment, a belief that she deserves the way people see her. In the final scene, Emma ends the film the same way she began, starting over. Her life changes because of circumstance, not because she's undergone some profound internal transformation. When she talks about becoming an activist, she frames it as waking up from a bad dream, a way to distance herself from the sadness and dark desires she once had. She locks that part of herself in her subconscious, labels it as a dream, and likely never spoke about her mass shooting era again until it slips out during a drunken confession. And yet, despite Charlie's flaws and transgressions as he spirals, Emma still believes in the possibility of change because she chooses it for herself every day. It's easy to assume Charlie and Emma stay together at the end, but that raises a more important question. Is that a happy ending or just the comfortable one?
We're in love. We want to show it to the world. We found love that we're going to have forever. Right, Charlie, you're still here? You get to be with this beautiful woman, empathetic woman. We know that. Good smiles. Good smiles. Good, you 2.
Part 3, The Groom's Burden. Robert Pattinson is one of the greatest actors working today. From The Batman to The Boy and the Heron, Mickey 17, Die My Love, and now The Drama, he solidified himself as an eccentric leading man and a fan favorite among film lovers. But Charlie might be the dumbest character he's played in a long time. When we meet him, he seems genuinely happy. And more importantly, he believes he understands the life he's built. He's in upper management at a museum, a British man thriving abroad, surrounded by close friends and engaged to a beautiful black woman who is the center of his world. At the dinner table, Charlie confesses the worst thing he's ever done: cyberbullying a classmate so badly they moved away. Despite the honesty of the moment, it's clear he feels little remorse, even if he's no longer that person. The camera lingers on Emma as she hears his confession, her shock contrasted with his laughter and casual dismissal of his past cruelty. But because of who Emma is, she takes this as permission to share her own confession without fear of judgment. When Emma reveals her worst sin, she's met with anger from her maid of honor and confused laughter from her husband-to-be. Charlie's shift isn't about the act itself, it's about the societal pressure he suddenly feels to make sense of his fiance's past. In his spiral, he infantilizes her, villainizes her, and pities her, all while avoiding the one thing she actually asked for: acceptance of who she is right now. Seeking comfort, Charlie cheats on Emma with Misha, an employee at the museum. But before anything further happens, he stops himself. In that moment, he feels what Emma has felt all along: the guilt of what almost happened. That experience gives him the context he lacked, the acceptance and understanding he should have offered her from the very beginning. As the wedding goes to shit, Charlie is the main culprit, a stark contrast to the calm demeanor of his parents. Their composure highlights how unfamiliar he is with the dysfunction and how much he may have always looked down on it. Charlie projects his fear of judging Emma too harshly by condemning the crowd, insisting she didn't do anything, as if defending her now makes up for all the times he didn't before. By the end, Charlie's bloody face and broken nose, courtesy of Misha's partner, symbolized the spiral he put himself through, trying to fix something that didn't need fixing. Life had healed that wound long ago. A moment of vulnerability became a reality-bending crisis that forced both partners to confront the consequences of their choices, past and present. But Charlie is given something rare: a second chance to hold the hand he took for granted. Despite the lies and dysfunction, the truth that emerges from the rubble is the most honest foundation they've had since they met. Both lied in the beginning to be accepted, Charlie with the book stalking, Emma with her hearing impairment. And now they accept each other and the lies that come with them. It doesn't fix their problems, but if they're happy, who cares?
If he was completely open and honest with you, and he told you he regretted everything, and that he made you believe beyond a doubt that he's changed.
I mean, isn't that exactly what a psychopath would do?
Part 4, The Witnesses. Everyone hates Rachel, which is fair. She's white, hypocritical, emotionally bullies her black partner, and overall just sucks. But that's almost too easy to point out. What's more interesting are the two characters who are just as problematic but hidden behind louder partners: Mike, Rachel's husband, and Misha. Rachel is the loud external force threatening the moral foundation of Emma and Charlie's relationship through judgment, ridicule, and ostracism. But Mike is the quiet anchor of Charlie's spiral, the one who hides behind his wife the same way he did in the dog story, letting his partner get bit while he protected himself. In this context, Rachel is the dog, Emma is the person being bitten, and Mike is the one holding the leash, refusing to intervene or take accountability. Mike knows exactly how Emma's confession will affect Rachel. First, he doesn't believe Emma. Second, even if he did, this is the same man who cried at Charlie's half-written wedding speech in the beginning of the film. As a married person, he sees the value in Charlie and Emma's connection, yet he chooses silence instead of supporting his friend's judgment. He hides behind the drama and the yelling unless it personally affects him or threatens how his own relationship is perceived. He's a bad best man, like Tay Diggs. If Mike is the best man who fails his role, then Misha is the unexpected witness who makes everything worse. She's a fascinating character because every choice she makes floats somewhere between inaction and hiding from accountability. When Charlie asks what she would do in his position, her answer is wrapped entirely in her own context. If her partner planned to be a school shooter, she'd be terrified. so why wouldn't she judge him? That logic tracks. When Charlie cries, she comforts him. That tracks too. Even when they start kissing, you can argue she's going along with the moment. Charlie's her superior, she's at work, and she's trying to soothe a spiraling boss. Fine, I'll take that. But then there's the moment everyone remembers. After Charlie rips her shirt, an irrational act born from pathetic desperation, Misha turns around, lifts her skirt, and bends over. As Charlie steps back, she waits, only stopping when she realizes the moment has dissolved. That single beat doesn't change her overall role in the story, but it reveals a lot about her character. Misha is a willing participant. Despite previously saying her boyfriend could kill her, despite knowing Charlie is getting married, despite the irrationality of the situation, she seems coldly willing to go through with it, regardless of what either of them could lose. And then she shows up to the wedding, she gossips with the maid of honor, she tells Emma about the cheating incident, which is fair, but still emotionally loaded, and then recounts the story to her boyfriend in a way that could be interpreted as assault. All of these moments paint a picture of someone who is not just caught in the drama, but actively participating in it. Her role may not be the most impactful, but she seems to revel in it more than anyone else. Out of the entire ensemble, Rachel and Misha are the two characters most comfortable playing their parts. White women whose self-interest, careless, judgmental behavior end up making black women's day harder than it ever needed to be.
I'm sure there's thousands of people like that. We just wouldn't know because they would never tell anyone. They're just out there, living normal lives. Really could be anyone.
Oh, here we go. So it's America's fault now.
I don't know. I do think it's a cultural thing.
Part 5, The Officiant. Christopher Borgli is exactly the kind of director who would make a film like the drama. I watched Dream Scenario 2 years ago and found it more off-putting than expected. And after finishing the drama, I went back to watch Sick of Myself. A pattern emerges across all his work. He deconstructs morality through characters who want something, attention, fame, love, and follows them until they no longer recognize themselves. Borgli isn't the first filmmaker to explore how obsession corrodes morality. He isn't the first pedophile to direct a movie with that theme, and sadly won't be the last because of the reception of this particular film. In 2012, Borgli wrote an essay in D2 magazine describing a relationship he had with a 16-year-old when he was 27. In the piece, he attempts to contextualize the relationship by referencing his own past experiences and by citing films like Lost in Translation and Manhattan as emotional justification, writing that he, quote, chose to listen to Woody over his friends, end quote. His friends told him it wasn't right. He chose the narrative that made him feel understood. If you liked the movie and made it this far, you might be wondering why I'm bringing this up at all. When I first watched the drama, I felt disheartened by the perspective the story speaks from. An outside looking in view of American life told through a British man abroad who was suddenly forced to confront the reality of mass shooting gun culture in the most personal way. That choice feels like the director making a statement about American morality, the politics around violence, and the contradictions of a society that can't even protect children in schools. The problem for me is that it's difficult to fully attach to a filmmaker's thesis about morality, love, and the tragedy of not truly knowing the person you're with when the filmmaker himself has publicly acknowledged behavior that contradicts the moral clarity he's asking the audience to engage with. Knowing the context of his relationship with a 16-year-old when he was 27, and to still be able to justify it today makes the moral gymnastics in his films feel less like a dialogue about how people can be corrupted and more like a platform for the idea that we all mess up sometimes. Redemption is complicated. How far does someone go to redeem themselves, and who decides when that redemption is earned? In the film industry, the arbiter of redemption is often the box office, and the audience's willingness to move on. And despite this information being publicly available, Borgli's 2012 essay has been drowned out by the overwhelmingly positive reception to the drama. Whether that's a mission accomplished or a happy accident, the result is the same. The conversation disappears and the success remains. And in that silence, we all are complicit.
Hey, can we stop fucking around?
Part 6, The Reception. The impact of the drama is bigger than people realize. The film cost $28 million to make and has already tripled its budget, carried by word of mouth and casting that created a collision of two massive fan bases, and the merit is undeniable. The script blends humor and cringe with precision, the performances have real emotional depth and resonance, and the cinematography, like in all of Borgley's work, is masterful and deeply symbolic, in a way that only pulls you in closer when most abstract, artsy, foreign filmmakers can feel alienating to certain audiences. Borgley is Ari Aster without the overt horror, and though reading the essay in full, I've also seen all of his major theatrical releases, and saw the drama twice to be confident in this script. That's my hypocrisy and my complicity. But the reception of this film reveals something about us too. We like to believe we're separate from larger outcomes, that we have no say in how the world turns. I don't believe that anymore. This year changed me in ways I didn't expect. And one of the biggest shifts has been realizing I'm not stuck on the track I thought I was on. Fate doesn't understand my life better than I do. And we don't have to participate in something just because it's trending, topical, or comforting in the moment. A film about falling in and out and back in love is universally relatable. Even for someone like me, I can understand the concept even if I feel distant from it. But morality isn't an obstacle to love. It's what purifies it. It's what keeps love from becoming harmful. I've loved the wrong way for most of my life, and I've loved the right way for a much shorter time. And the main difference now is respect and an updated moral compass. Emma and Charlie are doomed because they believe that building on lies and hidden truths makes their love stronger. Coming from someone who's never experienced love in the way I once thought I did, I know for certain that love grows from what you can share, not what you suppress. And even though we can all see pieces of ourselves in these characters, their flaws, their fear, their longing, we shouldn't settle for a future built on hiding. We should pursue a future that embraces the truth. If this film taught me anything, it's that life is short. And if you have the capacity to love, you should do it with your whole heart, not halfway. Love can contort anyone, make us unrecognizable to ourselves, and that's its strangest power. It feels like a weakness, but in reality, the things meant for you lower your guard and force you to stand tall even when you feel unsteady. Love with everything you have, even when it hurts. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I'll be back again. Peace.